Welcome back to my channel for another Leica D-Lux 8 episode. And in this episode, I want to explain to you user profiles. It's here on page number 4 in the menu. And it is a feature you have on that camera, which will definitely make your workflow and the way you operate the camera much easier, much smoother, and much more fluent. In this episode, I will explain you everything you need to know about user profiles. I think it's a highly underrated feature. Not a lot of people, I guess, are using it. But if you are used to using it, you will have a big boost in your photography with that beautiful D-Lux 8. Let's kick this off. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, support my work. Many thanks for that. All right, so what are user profiles? User profiles help you to set up different profiles for different shooting situations. For instance, let's say you want a profile for shooting people where you want to have autofocus continuous, autofocus tracking, certain other features, then you can store it here as a profile. Let's say you also want a profile where you go for landscape and then you don't need autofocus tracking. You don't need autofocus continuous. You want to have autofocus single and field autofocus. You can also set up a profile for this. And it's actually a very natural way to customize the camera for different shooting situations. But I think not a lot of people are really using it. And that's a shame because it's a main advantage you have in Leica cameras that you can set up user profiles. So let's deep dive into it and let me show you how to set this up and how to use it. Let's first figure out how many user profiles we can store and set up here. And if we go into the menu here, we see we have a default profile and then we have profile 1, 2, and 3. So it's 3. And if we go to manage profiles and want to save the current settings in the camera as a profile, we actually can say save as profile, and then it offers us profile 1, 2, and 3. So we can, in a very natural way here, save 3 different, let's call it constellations of settings we have here, and later activate them in the menu. How do we activate them? Well, we go here into the control screen, and then you see here that icon. And here I can go to profile 1, profile 2, and profile 3, or back into the default profile. Simple like that. Let's do now first use case. Let's say my first profile should be the camera sitting on a tripod at ISO 100 in landscape photography mode. So we go to autofocus single, no tracking, field autofocus, and all of that. And let's set up the camera and store it as profile 1. So let's go here into the control screen. Let's go here into ISO, and I want to deactivate auto ISO because if the camera is sitting on a tripod, I can actually afford to have an ISO of 100, which is the lowest ISO available here. And the exposure time can be as long as we ever think it's required because it's sitting on a tripod and there will be no shakes and vibrations. That's the first setting we do here. The second one is autofocus single is already good. Let's go here back. Sorry. Autofocus single is fine. We have it already activated. Let's say we want to be on field autofocus. That's also good. We want to be on single drive mode, of course. We don't care about all of that here. I want to be here on multi-field because I'm in landscape and I want the camera intelligently to balance between different bright spots in the scene. Auto white balance is fine. DNG and JPEG is fine, and so on. I want to be in a self timer. Let's go to page number 1. And here the self timer I activate to 2 seconds. And let's see what else we need. I think otherwise we are fine. Let's say this is our profile. And now I go and continue to user profiles and will store these particular settings in profile number 1. So I go here to profile number 1. I confirm, save as user 1. Yes, that's it. Now I have stored this. All right. Now let's say I want to have a second profile, and that second profile is for people photography. And in people photography, I want to have auto ISO. So we go back into auto ISO here. I want to have autofocus continuous. And I want to have here, let's call this eye and face detection. And that's the way I want it. I also want it here to be on spot. And I definitely want to switch away from the self timer. So let's go here and let's deactivate the self-timer. Let's switch this off. And now let's go to page number 4 again, to user profiles. And here store this as profile number 2. Here we go. Yes, confirmation. Good. So far, so good. And now we have a third use case which we want to use, and that is basically still image photography. And let's say here we want to be in autofocus single. We want to be here in, let's say, zone focusing. And we want to be here in center weighted. We don't want to have a self-timer and all of that. And let's store this as user profile number 3. Page number 4, user profile. And let's store this as profile number 3. But with the default profile, it's 4. So we store it at profile number 3. And now we have 3 profiles set up here. And if I now switch here in the menu, let me go here and I say, I don't want to be in the default profile, but I want to be in profile number 1. You remember that was the one where the camera is on a tripod. Then you see we have the autofocus single. We have here field autofocus. We have here the multi-field, which I set up. And if I go to the menu in page number 1, we also have here a 2-second self-timer. So this is all stored and preserved for me. And whenever I do landscape on a tripod, I don't have to think a lot. I know my most basic shooting parameters. They are stored in profile number 1. Let's now go to profile number 2 because I'm after people photography. And if I go back here, you see I'm now automatically in autofocus continuous. I'm in eye phase detection. I'm here on spot, as I explained before, and the self-timer will be gone. See, the self-timer is off. Simple like that. Now let's go back and let's say we want to have the regular still image photography. We go to user profile number 3. Confirm this. Now we are back in autofocus single, but in the focus method, we went for zone. Here we went for center weighted, and there should also not be a self-timer, and you see it's off. And in this way, I have now stored 3 different profiles for 3 different shooting situations, and they will all make my life easier if these are the regular setups I have on this camera for different shooting situations. Of course, we also have still the default profile. Let's activate this. And here we can now set up whatever we want. Let's say we also want to have here field. Let's go to field. And here we are already, I think, on center weighted. That's fine. And we should not have a self-timer activated and so on. So in this way, you see, if you shoot this camera very often and you figure out what are in typical shooting situations like people photography, landscape, and maybe one more, what are your typical settings, then you don't have to always set them up from scratch here in the control screen or in the menu. You can set them up and store them as a user profile and switch very quickly between them. And that is not only good for speed, it's also good for peace of mind, because I know that when I switch into profile number 1, sorry, that was one too much, into profile number 1, I have peace of mind because I know automatically that my self-timer is activated because the camera in this profile is always sitting on a tripod. You see here, self-timer 2 seconds. And in this way, you also get peace of mind because you can rely on the way you figured out your parameters for a particular shooting situation once and for all. All right, so tell me and drop me a comment. Have you used user profiles so far on your Leica camera? If you have not used user profiles, do you think it's worthwhile to consider using them? And third, of course, if you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.